Hey guys, getting a lot of calls on Y pipes and a few smart questions, mostly dumb questions. Guys, these new sleds are good. If you really think you're going to pick up 5, 6, or 7 horse with a Y pipe, I will say this, years ago Arctic Cat, and I heard through the grapevine, made the Y pipe wrong on a big, I think a 1000, to kind of sneak it through emissions, so then you could gain 7. So want to give a shout out to my race series and sponsors and racers. Triton Trailers, major sponsor. You see that Triton? Nice trailer, good quality. And here's a funny one. Look at all the sponsors we have. And then we've got this guy here, Joey Pamkowski, doing very well in our pro money class. So, and doing a good job. We are going to tear him right down to the cylinders. But this brings me to the reason of the video. Y pipes. Joey's on a factory support cat, so if he is using somebody's Y pipe, and I won't mention any names, I just noticed this. There's almost no difference between the stock Y pipe and the aftermarket one. Pretty close cut. They're even buying these, I would think, these are the same almost, a little different there. So here's why I went into the cat business. I'm hearing all these crazy claims. Then one of these aftermarket companies is starting to use the crazy claims on Skidoo, so I knew it was completely false. So first thing we did is got an Arctic Cat, and when we went to do the Y pipe, Rob noticed that it was off a few thousandths from the factory. So we drove our laser cutter guy nuts. We actually moved the bolt holes over, I think it was 12 or 15 thousandths. So if you check this aftermarket Y pipe, you can see they're not lined up with the port. Just like on the Skidoo, we pulled the cylinder to match the ports. And the second thing we do, I'll show it on our Skidoo, we laser, when he cuts them, he puts the indentations in so we can get it perfectly round. To do that, we press, precision press. So now we're exactly round, we're exactly same as the port. So let's come to the power diff. Here's our Y pipe, where we match the cylinder perfect. So on this cat copy, you can see the runner comes out quite a ways, then turns, then comes back. The indentations are exactly the same. You do need the indentations to redirect your two cylinders back straight. On ours, we don't come out quite as far. We start turning right away. We come back, and now we've got just a little bit longer neck to direct it. And guys, a lot of dynoing, the precise flange, just like the Skidoo, 2 horsepower. There's not 4, 5, 6, 7 horse Y pipes on the new cats. Now, let me show you the world's worst Y pipe. I keep it chained up for when I'm at shows so they don't steal it. Here's our Y pipe, which if you measure around any of our Y pipes, it'll be exactly the same. Yeah, 48, 47, 9, which matches the port, which is another deal. You guys buying Skidoo Y pipes that are bigger than the port, and if you think cutting the end off your new E-Tech pipe and putting on an Arctic Cat flange, which is, I forget, 60 versus 63, yeah, 63.2, guys, a 3mm bigger flange isn't going to give you any power, it's going to hurt power. We tried that in 08, going bigger. You can't pick up 4 horse. Somebody did a dyno run and said it made 4 horse. No. They were surging around at 1 second at 8,200. Go up there and hold it for 20 seconds and lose 2. We've done it, been there, tried that. Number one, you've got to give Skidoo engineers some credit. Don't you think they tried different size outlets? So back to the world's worst Y pipe. They're way bigger than the port. They're ovalated. And here's your first clue on when you're getting a bad Y pipe. If somebody's lazy and wants to bolt it on so it's slotted and it's easy to do, you're not going to match the port. So these are like 8.4. We're like 8.15. We're a little tighter than a Skidoo to keep it close to the port. The other thing, if you look at this, the one leg is way longer than the other. They, I believe, might have had it made in China, which is another problem in our industry. There's 2 companies now getting stuff made in China. The indentation's not even there. If we look inside it and run our finger in there, there's about 3/16 to a 1/4 inch ledge. This Y pipe, by the way, one magazine said made 6, which was an insult to Skidoo. One dyno operator said it made, I forget, 3, I believe. We tested it quickly and saw 1.5 on a 2 seconds at peak. When we ran 15 seconds at peak, we lost 6 horse, which makes sense. It disrupted the gas flow. The quick run, nothing stabilized. Your dynos got some inertia. You can get some real false readings. The other thing, when you get your Y pipe in the mail, the first thing you want to do is look in there. The only way we're beating the factory guys is we've changed our taper a little. We're using a more expensive die. We're smaller production. We spent a lot of dyno time, either on the Cat, Skidoo, to get a little more power. And then, if you look in any of these, you'll see everything is matched, it's sanded. The die is an expensive die, it's round. The only credit I'm going to give these guys, and you guys that spend your hard-earned money on something that's not making any power, they do have a better fit here than Arctic Cat. If you look at the Arctic Cat, they use a 2-piece for quicker production, so you've got a ridge there. Probably 2 or 3/10. The one thing that I did notice this, and a customer brought it to me when they, for some reason, when they had this, I'm going to call it a pretty close copy, whoever made the die is off. This leg is longer. So I haven't dynoed this, but I would bet money that I doubt it's going to match stock. And the other reason is they're just a hair smaller than stock here. We know stock was off just a few thousand, so I doubt this is going to line your port. So, back to you guys who are worried about this guy who's running good, if he might have a Y pipe. If he's got this Y pipe, I doubt it's helping him any, and I will be checking very closely at the next race. Thanks, and the only thing I want to say, guys, is you need to pay attention when you get a product in the box. If you take it out of the box, and it looks like this, and you're taking off a nice factory Y pipe, think about it. Do you really think you're making power? And the main reason I did this dyno is I get 20 of these calls every day, or I get calls from this guy here that bought it, and he's down 300 RPMs, and he's confused. So, thanks. Stop and think about stuff. Think about how good the new sleds are. The days of us aftermarket guys picking up 5, 10, 15, 20 horse, they're done. Thank you.